Hello YouTube, this is Dr. Sarah Chappell, and as promised, this begins the first of the weekly videos on the foundations of health from a naturopathic perspective and philosophy. And what I'd like to lead with today, I'm going to call rest. Many people call it sleep, right? We all know, no-brainer, you need to sleep in order to feel well. But I'm going to expand on that and call it overall resting, which can include how we transition from task to task during the day. So just the basics. Bear with me if this all sounds familiar to you. But for the basics, for optimal healing, for immune function, so you're not getting sick all the time, for muscle recovery, for muscle tone, for concentration, for stress tolerance, for good mood, right? Sleep is absolutely essential. So if you notice that you're having a problem with any or all of those, and depending on the day, believe me, I had a doozy of a weekend. If you're drowsy, I mean, that's number one, right? If you're waking up and you're not rested, something is going on. And there's a way to optimize your sleep. There's a huge billion-dollar industry, pharmaceutical industry, with sleep aids that are addictive, habit-forming, and in a pinch, will get you through, but long-term, let's get to the root cause, right? Root cause medicine. Why aren't you sleeping? So things to consider when you're creating your sleep environment. So consistency. I know I do this from week to week, weekend to weekday. I'll have a weekday routine and then a weekend routine. And I'll generally catch up on sleep on the weekend and then have really god-awful early mornings during the week. When in fact, the data all shows we do best when we have consistency in our circadian rhythms. So a consistent sleep-wake schedule. One tool that I've been using lately is my iPhone. And it has an alarm and a bedtime feature now in it. And you can set your bedtime, like what time you need to go to bed by and what time you're getting up. And it will remind you, it will trigger an alarm 15 to 30 minutes before your bedtime. And it will have an alarm for your wake up cycle as well. And that has been a real big help in maintaining my consistency. If you need more sleep on that normal regular frequency of every day during the weekend, take a nap. That has been shown to be far more restful and restorative than changing dramatically your sleep-wake cycle. Certain exceptions to this include shift workers, night workers. That's a whole nother ball of wax, and that's problematic. But still, you can have some consistency during your on times and your off times. But it really is more challenging, and if at all, I try to help people find the opportunity to switch to not being a vampire and working at night. That's tough. That comes with a whole list of health issues. So another thing we do in our American culture is we load up our bedrooms with all our favorite things, including TVs and stereos and, glow-in-the-dark neon posters. I don't know. I don't have any of those, but really, the bedroom is for sleep and it's for sex, and that's it. Otherwise, there's too much stimulation, there's too much light, especially if you're very light sensitive. It's helpful to get light blocking curtains and to keep it single purpose. Otherwise, your brain wants to do other things because, ooh, look, the television is there. Oh, hey, I haven't listened to that album in a while. Sleep and sex, keep it that way. Temperature, air quality, you want it, of course, quiet. So if that means running a white noise generator because of living in the city, or in our case, we have chickens that go all the time. So we have an air filter, actually, air quality, air filtration, especially in a room where you're going to be 8 to 10 hours, you really want to have an optimal air quality, right? So getting a HEPA air filter is very important, especially if you struggle with sleep apnea or if you have seasonal allergies. These are all, you really want to make that air quality the best it can be. And the temperature, it should be cool. Throw on more blankets, wear pajamas, although they do say sleeping naked is ideal, but sometimes it's just too freezing. So keeping it to be a cool environment, that's how we sleep the deepest and the best, all right? So another thing that can really help, and my husband reports this day and night, it's just an amazing difference to his sleep when he has days in the gym or going out for walks or running. He's a runner. I'm not a runner. He sleeps really well. So exercising regularly releases a lot of that pent up emotional, mental, spiritual angst that keeps us up at night with monkey brain, thinking about all these things. Something about working hard and challenging yourself and peaking out and sweating, that all helps you sleep better. For me, I prefer sauna and walking right now, and then high intensity interval training and weightlifting. Those are my optimal ways to sweat. Sometimes people don't have issues getting to sleep, and there are lots of things that can help in the way of these foundations that don't involve pharmaceuticals, but then they have trouble staying asleep. And oftentimes that can be a byproduct of your blood sugar tanking. You're hungry and you wake up in a stressed state at 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. instead of at a more restful time. So trying out a small protein snack before bed can be incredibly helpful to sustain sleep until you do need to get up. So that's always something you can try according to your food intolerances. A very small, complete protein fat, something that can stabilize your blood sugar over the course of the evening. Let's see here. So I'm referring to a handout that I give my patients on healthy sleep habits. So routines are just helpful, right? With anything. It's like, okay, get up in the morning, brush your teeth, wash your face, all those things. We need routines. Why would sleep be any different? So if you struggle, consider having a set routine. So your little alarm goes off, hey, it's coming up on your bedtime. That's your time to make a cup of chamomile tea or some calming herb tea, or go for a walk, or listen to some music, or get in the hot tub or the bath and have an Epsom salt bath. Magnesium, I could go off. I could do a whole video on magnesium and how wonderful it is. But those routines and those rituals, those prepare the mind so you're not going, and then get horizontal and your brain's like, wait a second, what just happened? And it's still going. That's pretty aggravating when you do that. So transition into bed with a routine, a regular routine. As I mentioned, there's all sorts of botanicals, herbs, foods, as well as nutrients like magnesium that can really help in that transition and prepare you for sleep. A few effects about alcohol, caffeine, nicotine, B vitamins even, those all, of course, are stimulating. So you want to watch and see, got to get that last cup of coffee in, or take your B vitamins before whatever time that is for you. Everybody has a different threshold, and that can change. Notice that can change when you are under more stress, or even if you're struggling with an illness. Sometimes you've been able to handle caffeine like a champ, but now it's keeping you wired and awake at night. So that's the kind of basics on sleep. Now let me just put a plug in for this concept of rest. So everything from transitioning from activity to another activity, taking a beat, breathing, getting up, taking frequent breaks from your desk if you are at a desk job, or even if you're going from an activity to another activity, taking a rest. And that has so much benefit in releasing tension. Otherwise, what do? We go, back to back. We get home, we crash, or we're crabby, and we aren't the people we want to be in our families and our relationships. So this concept of rest on a micro level, on a daily routine level, is very important. And I would also say, whether it's little 3-day weekends or 2-day weekends or taking a week or two off, we as Americans need to rediscover how to deeply rest and to take time off for our health and wellness, because we're addicted to productivity, we're addicted to performance, and it has a place, but we're really made to sprint and then rest until we're recovering, right? We go through these periods of increased activity, then we have the recovery from that activity. So whatever endeavor that is going to cost this much of our time and our resources and our brain capacity, we need an inverse amount of time to recover. It's a sine wave, right? So here's the cost and there's the recovery. Otherwise, we just can't continue. We will hit a wall at some point in our productivity, in our overall function. You get sick, you accumulate a lot of chronic issues, maybe chronic fatigue starts to set in. Autoimmune issues can result from long-term stress and not resting. So just a little asterisk there about the foundation of health being overall rest in the way of sleep, but also resting during the day between activity and resting regularly from our sprints of projects and work. This is Dr. Sarah Chappell, practicing here from beautiful Whidbey Island, and I will be in touch soon. Do take care.